All right, on Tetris. It's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Off we go. Round 0 is underway. The 2018 Classic Tetris World Championships have begun. SQR and Justin up top. Kristen versus Paul in the bottom.
Kristen was our Southern qualifier in Texas. She beat out her husband in the finals to get the free trip to Portland,
which I'm sure will be bragging rights for the lifetime.
Paul,
big Tetris for Kristen to start things off.
This is Paul Tezzi's first top 32 finish.
He's got the headphones in. He's dialed in, as you can see. Kristen competed in the 2014 tournament, and this is the first time she has returned to the CTWC since that time.
Came back with a vengeance with that satellite win. SQR is a veteran.
Another Tetris for Kristen.
The difference display is not on. The score's not.
So once again, for those who have not seen the new statistics before, you will see a statistic that says TRT percentage. That is Tetris rate percentage. At what percentage are they achieving Tetrises in their score?
And it needs to move over a digit because it's the 7-digit display.
BRN is burn, of course. How many lines they've had to burn since their last Tetris.
You'll notice the snazzy new blinking indicator for droughts. That counter starts up at piece number 13, because that's what separates classic Tetris from modern Tetris. In modern Tetris, you never are without a line piece after 13 pieces.
It always randomizes through every piece, unlike this cruel RNG.
And then you'll see TRT, which is Tetris percentage. Quote-unquote max out pace is about 60% of your lines being Tetrises.
Little bit of cleanup necessary for Paul. Meanwhile, up top, a closed well for Justin. These are best of 3 series in the round of 0.
Yep. Everybody went with level 18. They had the option for 15, but we have hardcore players. We choose 18. You'll see the BRN statistic. That's the number of pieces run since the last Tetris, and you see SQR is struggling here. Although, seeing the score, it's a pretty brutal piece arrangement. And Justin is about to top out, and SQR takes round 1 just like that.
Justin tops out, and you'll see more statistics there. His Tetris rate was 22%. He had 1 drought of 13 lines, and you'll notice the eyepiece number will stay hidden until both competitors are finished, because that would give away any future pieces for those counting. And that is why you will not see that number until both competitors have completed, so as not to give an advantage to the other person playing.
You can see the points per line statistic there on the 3rd line there. You need about double that to get a max out pace, so that was a pretty brutal piece arrangement for both players, and SQR winning out with Justin's top out. And at the bottom,
Paul defeated Kristen in the game number 1.
Mega Retro Man on Twitch.
So just to give you an update, the winner of Paul and Kristen will face Corion in the next round. That will happen tomorrow. And SQR and Justin will meet ZZYZX in the next round.
Who could that be? What a strange name.
I wonder.
Zizix.
Zizix. Game 2 has begun between Paul and Kristen. Kristen also the 2nd ever female to max out in this game. Very impressive feat. We have seen a lot of, speaking of max outs, how many max outs did we see today during qualifying?
If you go check on the chat, we've been putting up links. Oh no, Justin is about to top out. If you can,
oh, Justin, and there
trouble.
It is. It's over there. And SQR.
Very quickly, SQR takes the match.
Justin is our first player eliminated, so SQR will move on to play Zizix in the 2nd round. So that is our first round of 0 matchup completed. Meanwhile, Kristen battling for her tournament life.
Coming up next in their spot is David L versus Greg V. Come on up to the stage and let's get the show going.
So there's the bracket right there. Paul and Kristen are battling for a spot.
Kristen has a slight lead. Paul's got a clean board. Had to settle for a triple there. Yes.
So Dave and Greg are setting up top. They are still practicing at the moment. Paul's leading 1-0 in their round of 0 matchup. Kristen with a great board, building a well very nicely, but Paul also in great position, needing to burn there. He has a drought of 19 thus far.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's the line, inopportune time for Paul. Kristen burning as well. Tetris for Kristen.
They're still warming up at top just in case.
26% Tetris rate for Kristen working with right now.
But as we were saying, we had 7 players max out in qualifying, 3 of those with double max out. So our top 7 seeds all maxed out in a tournament situation with limited attempts.
And it took not just whether or not they maxed out, but how many times did they max out to order them in the tournament.
Last year, one player, Corion, had 2. One other player, I believe, had a max out. Paul with a very clean board, behind by 1 Tetris. Kristen with another Tetris, now with a 2 Tetris lead.
12% higher Tetris rate for Kristen right now at 36%. Paul is leading the way, however, Kristen will need 2 consecutive victories to move on.
Paul playing a lot more aggressively. He's pressing down. He has several more lines.
Tetris for Paul. Great positioning on both fronts here. About 9,000 points separate the two right now. They're basically neck and neck at this juncture.
That's our first neck and neck of the day.
Greg and Dave up top, about to start their round of 0 matchup. Nice tuck by Kristen. Chris, really, this entire tournament in 2018, this is the most talent-rich pool we've ever seen in terms of contenders.
This is definitely next generation. We had 16-year-old Joseph show up out of nowhere and pull out a max out on stage and get to level 31 live. The first time that's ever happened. 7 players max out. And Paul tops out of nowhere.
Kristen needs 15,000 points in order to take game number 2. It looks like she will do so comfortably if she can get 1 eyepiece.
She needs that 1 Zizix well Tetris.
And she's in good position right now, but and it still, line by line, she could be in great position, and there it is. So it's a best of 1. Next goal wins, so to speak. A little bit of drama in the round of 0.
Yeah, the nerves have to be a bit. Yep, they're started up top.
Greg and Dave have begun. They both decided to start at level 15. Greg with a slight lead right now. Both of them have some cleanup to do.
Yeah. Decided to start at level 15, a little slower. That's a drop rate of 4 frames per line. You see our statistics here.
So for those curious, the difference in Tetris score from level 15 to level 18 is about a 3,600 difference.
Yeah,
in points.
1,200 points per level. The big difference is the speed difference.
So game number 3 is underway. Both Kristen and Paul decided to start at level 18 once again. Winner moves on.
8 are set correctly.
Paul not happy with that Z drop right there.
That is screaming for a T-piece.
Oh. Kristen almost looks like a center well will be built right there.
We've seen a proliferation of the center well play the past couple years, not just Quaid Hauser. And it works. If you're good, it works.
The concept of the center well, of course, introduced in the Ecstasy of Order documentary.
To play beyond level 29.
A 41% Tetris rate thus far for Kristen. Both of them tied at 1. Winner moves on. A drought has started to form for Paul. Quickly eradicated. Tetris for Paul. Meanwhile, up top, a nice play field for Dave. Burning a couple lines there. Greg has some cleanup.
At level 15, they can afford to play a little bit higher. You typically don't want to go above the versus sign unless you're a hyper tapper. But at level 15, you can take more risks. And just a reminder, at level 18, Tetrises are worth 22,800. So you can do the math if you'd like to see the difference. Paul with a Tetris, cleaning up a very high stack. And he goes for the triple, plays it safe. When you're playing in the tournament situation, you tighten up a bit.
Kristen with a beautiful play field. Paul will get that Tetris. A dirty Tetris indeed. He's here. He's laughing himself.
We got the smirk.
He's like, I don't care. It's a Tetris. A Tetris is a Tetris. Just put it on the board. That will be a triple there for Paul. Paul has a center well. Tetris ready. He's just collecting Tetris styles at this point. Center well Tetris, dirty Tetris.
I think he just wants to win however he can. And the same can be said for Kristen, who's got an interesting arrangement here that she needs to clean up.
A great matchup, though. They're still neck and neck. Only 1,000 points separating them, essentially even. Paul pulling away just a little bit as Kristen has some cleanup to do. Meanwhile, Greg has a gaping hole in his play field, and that misdrop will caused him to top out. He had a drought of 21. As Dave will take game number 1. They did not exit level 15.
Best 2 of 3.
Kristen not happy with the pieces right now in the placement, but she's still in good position right here. A nice double there, slowly and surely. Still 20,000, just a Tetris down right now at this point.
A classic neck and neck game, and you want to see that in these rounds. You want to see real competition here.
Game number 2 has begun up top. Dave leading 1-0. Early tuck from both competitors.
Tetris for Paul.
Paul happy with the result.
Up by 2.5 now. Kristen's got some work to do, but a dirty Tetris is available. Settles for the triple to knock that stack down. She's still in good shape. We still got a lot of game to play. We're nearing the transition.
Happy with that eye block right there, making the Tetris for Paul.
You traditionally want to get that stack down before the switch over to level 19.
And it looked like Greg topped out right there, so Dave will move on. A 34-piece drought. Wow. So Dave sweeps. Greg will move on to the round of 32. He will be back tomorrow to compete in the Classic Tetris World Championships. Meanwhile,
next up we have Jin and John. Jin Morgan, John Baker.
Tetris for Paul. He has transitioned to level 19.
Beautiful transition. It's exactly where you want to be. Kristen is hanging tough. Got a beautiful board right where she wants to be. She's playing a little slower.
Down by a few Tetrises, though.
But now's where we're going to see the real skill come out. Who has the better level 19 game is going to take this match, and that's the way it should be.
Great cleanup by Kristen. She's in terrific position, as is Paul.
You want to keep that stack below the versus sign if you do not hyper tap. There it is.
Tetris for Kristen.
On the comeback trail, down by 3.
Reminder,
There's another one.
Level 21 for Paul, level 21 for both. And both of them with great play fields at the moment.
Paul with a well, and there's a Tetris.
A triple for
He
Kristen.
barely got that line piece to the left. You don't want to go any higher if you're Paul.
Some great play happening at the bottom of your screen right now. Both of these competitors definitely want to make it to the next round. Some great high-level play right now.
Tetris for Paul. 100,000 point lead. We are racing to level 29. Boom, Tetris for Paul. 130,000 point lead. Kristen is in cleanup mode. 19-piece burn. So the question for Paul is, do I take the foot off the gas? When it's winner take all, it's hard to say yes to do that.
It's very tempting to continue to go as fast as
But
possible in this
there he
juncture.
goes, another
Huge
Tetris for Paul.
Tetris.
Huge
Pulling
lead.
away with it right now. 180,000 plus lead right now for Paul
Kristen
in this
needs to go
decisive game.
Full attack now.
Meanwhile, Jin and John has started above.
No, they're
Oh,
practicing.
they're practicing. Pardon me. That's my bad. My apologies. Can't be right all the time, folks.
Nope. Dirty Tetris opportunity for Kristen. Nope, she had to cover it up.
Playing dangerously high right now. Oh, no!
And that's going to do it.
And that
Excellent
is
game.
it. Paul moves on in a terrific deciding game in the round of 0. The crowd responding in kind to a great matchup, Chris.
Great showing for your first tournament, Paul.
So it'll be Trey and Burke who are next. We can get them up. So here's the updated bracket right now. It will be Paul taking on Corion in the round of 32. Meanwhile, SQR will be taking on Alex. The winner of Trey and Burke will face Harry, or Larry, depending on who you ask. Patrick and Beta Strep will be facing off a little bit later on. The winner will face Joseph. Green Tea is our second seed. He awaits the winner of Ethan and Sam. Meanwhile, Robin and Packy Patrick will take on Josh, whoever wins that matchup. David and Greg. Jonas awaits the winner there. David is the winner there, so he'll face Jonas. And Jin and John, they are battling it out right now, and the winner will face Svavar. We are live up top. Jin and John have now started. At the bottom, Trey
Not
and
Paul.
Burke are
Yep.
practicing. But up top is a competitive matchup. It's happening right now. They are even right now. Oh, down by a Tetris. Jin, a
And
great Tetris right there. Another Tetris for Jin.
this looks like a generous piece arrangement for this match. Both players have over 80% Tetris rate. If you keep that above 60%, that's a max out pace. Or in the championship cartridge version, we do have a 7th digit, so we want to see some million-point scores this weekend.
Has competed in a beard contest.
Okay.
And of course, Trey is our tech director here.
So Burke is checking his stress level right now. His hands are shaking just a little bit. What's also shaking is his formidable beard. As you can see, that is one hell of a beard, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for that beard. How about that? Absolutely. In fact, I was just told that he has competed in beard competitions. Not only did I just learn that he competed, but I also learned that they just exist. Now we know. The more you know.
They call him a beardsman.
They're called beardsmen, by the way.
We are in Portland.
Well, our resident beardsman will now compete.
So up top,
in the
Jin
round
just
zero.
took round one very quickly with the 150 to 120.
Jin was ahead on points, and also John tops out. So Jin is ahead 1-0.
You'll quickly see that statistics screen. The D total, D average, D max, that's drought totals. PPL is points per line. TRT is Tetris percentage.
As the game went on, and that's when you were ahead and when you were behind.
And the red and green show the fluctuation of the difference in score.
So you can see Jin was essentially ahead the entire matchup except for 2 short moments based on the red and green lines. That's what it's showing you right there based on the flow of the match. Some great increased statistics. Game number 2 is now underway. Jin has a 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, have Trey and Burke have started?
Trey and Burke have started, yes.
So here we are. Both of them start at level 18. Meanwhile, Jin and John have decided to start at level 15.
And Trey and Ben Mullen are both new fathers. I've challenged them both to come up with the best dad joke before the end of the weekend.
Nice well for John so far, and Tetris for Jin.
Starting level 15 up top. Get the nice softer colors.
For those unaware, Trey is also responsible for all of the programming for what you see on screen with the CTWC.
Yeah. It's you're looking at a digital recreation of an analog signal. This isn't the actual video from the NES.
Yeah, just to expand on that, what you're seeing on screen, Tetris for Jin in the center well right there, what you're seeing is Trey recreated the Tetris game and essentially in HD. So that's what you're seeing on
John
screen.
Is in trouble. He tops out, and that's it.
Oh, John, that is it. Jin will move on. Congratulations to Jin. And Jin moves on to face Svevar in the round of 32. Svevar is the Classic Tetris European champion. He is the reigning champion, and he is a 2-time champion in Europe. The first time he has traveled here to Portland to challenge for the crown. Meanwhile, Tetris for Burke.
Next up
and
on
for
stage, Patrick N versus Beta Strap.
Jin was leading essentially the entire time. Once again, you can see the point distribution there. There's one blip.
There's a lot of green on that board. It's pretty fun with this round 0. It's good to get some one-on-one competition on Saturday. I think that's what the crowd craves. That's what chat craves. So I'm glad we can give more of it.
Shout out to the those who are watching at home right now on YouTube and on Twitch. They have been watching all day and commenting in the Twitch chat. We thank you for sticking with us all day.
1,000 viewers for a pretty chill competition throughout the qualifying rounds. Thanks to James Chen for commenting a bit on that.
Trey got himself out of a little bit of a hole there, and he's got a nice well. And boom, Tetris for Trey.
Simul Tetris.
Those are the best kind, aren't they?
Yep. Like we just aren't they? Absolutely. Literal zero difference between the two scores for a moment there.
Now, do you think Trey coded an advantage for himself in this matchup?
Trey is very honest. I would not expect him to ever do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Level 19 up top. A little practice there for Patrick and Beta Strep. They can start anytime. Patrick and Beta Strep can start anytime. So Trey and Burke, as we begin now with between Beta Strep and Patrick N.
That square drop was awful for Burke.
Oh, bad placement there for Burke.
If he can dig out, he'll be okay, but
Burke ranked 36th in qualifying, Trey 29th.
he needs that line piece now. There we go. Nicely done. Oh, no.
Bad more placements. He might lose. And that untimely piece, and he will top out. Trey takes game number 1. But as you can see, Burke was leading for much of the game.
All it takes, one misdrop.
It just goes to show you how volatile this game really is. One bad drop can completely change your fortunes in this matchup, as evidenced by what just happened to Burke, as he was leading for essentially 95% of this game, but he is down 1-0 in the series.
That's all it takes. We've started up top. We have a 3 Tetris lead for Patrick right now. Make that 4. Beta has a little bit of digging to do, but looks like he should be able to handle that, as most of our top players can.
Patrick ranked 28th in qualifying, Beta Strep 37th. Remember, this is a field of 40 this year.
Our cutoff was at the 560,000 point mark this year. So
who saw that coming? 560,000
with 40 slots. The quality has just leaped up and ahead from last year.
And players coming in cold and getting scores of 800,000-900,000. Yanni had some travel issues getting here, all the way from Scandinavia. Finally made it here at around 1 o'clock. His first qualifier, 850,000. Just like that.
He's amazing. And thank you to the gentleman in Switzerland who helped pay his way.
Shout out in the Twitch chat. SGT Sorrow said, Twitch chat called 600K right at the very start. So shout out to Twitch chat who got it right.
Well, yeah, they're smarter than we are.
And they're always right.
Yep. Got Trey with a pretty good lead right now.
A little bit of cleanup necessary here, though. Oh, that's a bad, unfortunate drop there, and he gets his eyepiece at an untimely time.
Yeah, he gets that one in a timely time. And then, boom, Tetris for Trey.
How about that? 3 back-to-back eyepieces, essentially.
RNG is good to Trey today.
Yeah.
He has a 3.5 Tetris lead up top. Patrick has opened up a monster lead with a 5 Tetris lead right now.
He is cruising in this first game.
Oh, Beta needed that boot. Oh, that could be it.
It looks like Beta's going to top out, and Patrick will take game number 1. Meanwhile, Burke with some nice cleanup in the bottom. 54% Tetris rate for Patrick in game number 1. He did not relinquish the lead the entire game.
No, that's domination. And when you know you're behind and the pressure is even more added that you just can't make a single mistake, that was just too much this round.
Tetris ready, and gets the Tetris, does Trey. He is leading by a few Tetrises at this point, and he's also leading in the series.
So you see the new statistics with the BRN. That's number of lines burned since the last Tetris. So you see Burke has 4 lines since his last Tetris, Trey with 3, and then after the next Tetris shows up, you'll see TRT, which is Tetris rate. That's the number of, that's percentage of scores that are Tetrises as opposed to single, double, triples.
Looks like Burke is in a little bit of trouble here as we inch. Oh, good job there as we inch closer to the transition here. Both of them at level 18.
About halfway
Burke
there.
playing a little high, but it's calming down just a little bit. Trey in great position right now with a nice well forming. He is Tetris ready.
Your classic left to right, high to low, right well open. And he's rewarded with a Tetris.
With a terrific Tetris. Will burn a couple lines there. Put himself Tetris ready once again. And another Tetris
He's
for
ahead
Trey.
by 7 Tetrises now.
He seems to be running away with it. Don't count the Beardsman out just yet, however. Meanwhile, Patrick in the lead once again by about 4 or 5 Tetrises.
Yeah, 23,000 roughly for a Tetris, about 3.5.
In great position right now.
You'll see that Tetris rate percentage up top.
73%. Very impressive
Yeah.
by Patrick, but he's been playing at that high level, that high Tetris percentage rate in both games.
He's been super aggressive.
A nice tuck by Trey, an eye tuck. And no, that is not an Apple product. There's your dad joke. That's a joke that Trey should have been saying.
Trey has just opened this game up wide. If Burke is going to win this match, he's got to turn it up to another level here. As they're approaching the transition to level 19 at 130 lines. The game could shift with that shift in speed. And
Patrick looking for a line right now. They are. Patrick is playing a little high in terms of transition. He has a drought forming right now. Continues to climb. There's the piece. Boom! Tetris for Patrick. Oh, that might be a little difficult.
He can get out of this.
That placement of that. A large drought forming. Trey finally gets his eyepiece as he transitions to level 19. Patrick in terrific position. And now a dual transition there. Burke transitioning as well. Oh, no! Couldn't make the placement, and that'll be it. Trey moves on to the round of 32. Trey will face Harry Larry in the next round.
As I like to say, it's a game of frames, and that one frame difference was the end of him. One more tap to the right, Burke would have been in it.
So Trey plays Harry in the next round. Harry's your 4th seed. And there's your updated brackets. Just move 29th ranked Trey into the next round, and you'll see exactly where we are. Patrick and Beta Strep still battling right now.
Ethan versus Sam is up next.
Ethan and Sam are your next competitors. The winner of that will face Green Tea, who has been extremely impressive so far in qualifying. I mean, that is a terrifying matchup.
Green Tea in his debut is just killing it.
Just a unfortunate bow placement there for Patrick. It looks like he might top out. Or he's cleaning up there. Good triple. A Tetris for Beta Strep. He's in great position. So a little cleanup necessary for Patrick. And
he has
for
the
all
lead.
intents and purposes, he has the lead, and he's trying to dig himself out of this. Oh,
Ooh.
Another bad placement. And that might be it. Yeah.
Well,
he's still battling, but it might be too much, and I think it is right there. So now, Beta Strep needs 49,000 more points in order to take game number 2.
3 Tetrises will do it. But he just covered up his well. No major droughts for Patrick in that game, just an unfortunate drop.
Had the lead the entire game, too, so right now still has the lead, technically. Of course. But Beta Strep fighting for his tournament life right now. In a battle against himself, essentially, right now. Needs 36,000 more points.
Plus, he's nearing the transition. If he does not get that well uncovered before the transition, that might be game over.
Now the well will open up.
Just did
and there's the line right there as he transitions beautifully. He needs 7,000 more points. Can he do it?
He can play conservative now, about 1,000 points per single line.
He might just pull it off here and force a game 3, a decisive game. He needs about 4 more lines right now. Oh, no. But he's still in it. He's
There we
still
go.
in it.
There we go.
The well is open. He needs 180 points. You have got to be kidding me.
No.
Oh my gosh. Incredible. He was right there at the finish line, and Patrick now will move on. What a heartbreaking way to be eliminated.
That's less than a single line. That's pressing down. The difference was pressing down.
That is heartbreak in the round of 0. Wow. So Patrick moves on to face 16-year-old Joseph Saley in the round of 32.
Joseph the Wonderkin. Our final matchup of round 0 is Robin Mihara versus Packy 619.
Sam and Ethan at the bottom have begun. These are our final 2 round of 0 matchups.
Rob Mihara is one of the founders of this tournament, as featured in the documentary Ecstasy of Order. He was also the 3rd place finisher in the 1990 Nintendo World Championships, while Packy, on the right, which we haven't changed the names yet, we'll get that. Packy was a finalist in the 2015 Nintendo World Championships. So we got 2015 versus 1990. Packy is also the Dr. Mario National Champion. Team 1990 chant from the crowd.
Had an impressive showing, did Packy yesterday in our Dr. Mario tournament.
At the bottom, we already have a win.
Sam takes game number 1 in our bottom round of 0 matchup. He is leading 1-0 in the series over Ethan.
Yep. Or Packy, Patrick, whichever. It's that.
The winner of Ethan and Sam at the bottom of your screen will face Green Tea in the round of 32 tomorrow. And Robin and Patrick, I should say, the winner of that will meet Josh. These are the final 2 in the round of 0. Our final 2 matchups today. Robin and Patrick has begun. Both of them opting to start at level 15. Patrick, though he is the Dr. Mario champion, this is the first time he's qualified for the Classic Tetris World Championships.
He had to break 500,000 to get in the bracket. It's no small feat. Patrick picked up Classic Tetris just to spite Vince Clemente, and he's done a great job.
A lot of people do a lot of things to spite Vince Clemente. He's also my boss, so I'm fired. So a couple
We are very high up top there with both players.
at level 15. They're neck and neck right now.
Boom,
Nice
Tetris
Tetris
for Packy. I've been waiting to say that for a while. He was my fellow finalist in the 2015 Nintendo World Championships. Robin is dealing with danger quite well. Thank you very much.
Robin has some digging to do, but he is definitely a survivor. Sam and Ethan, meanwhile, with both clean
Well
playing
done, Robin.
fields.
Boom, Tetris for Robin.
Good job by Robin.
Half Tetris lead. Back to 1.5. Packy with a Tetris.
It's neck and neck, meanwhile, between Sam and Ethan at level 18. A drought is forming. Sam finally gets that line. Another one.
You can see this Tetris percentage at the top. It's very low. Pretty bad piece set for both players.
Not the most favorable RNG for both Patrick and Robin.
And this is a championship, and they both get the same lousy piece set, and whoever handles it better will win.
And Chris, this is where practice and practice and practice would come in.
Absolutely. Deal with the awkward situations, and you'll win. Meanwhile, at the bottom, we have 2 boring, clean games. Boring, clean is best clean.
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask the competitors, it's not so boring.
No, they appreciate the break. Both very close matches. This is what we want to see on round 0. The decision to make 40 seeds this year was the right decision. Boom Tetris for Robin.
So just to, as these final matchups are happening, just to give you an idea of what else is happening in our area, there's actually a school here that have been studying some of our top Tetris competitors. Because we got some cleanup there by Patrick. Patrick, has a position there. Tetris, a dirty Tetris as you would call it.
Dirty Tetris.
The Rensselaer School of Humanities is here getting some of our top players to play Tetris so they can essentially analyze them and study their patterns in their minds, essentially. Very cool. Tetris for science.
They studied my gameplay, and I think I'm going to ruin their data results.
You might be what they call an outlier, Chris.
Yeah, way over to the left. Sam's got the Zizix well set up. Patrick capped off his well.
Great Tetris for Sam. Keeping the play area low. Robin and Patrick, though, despite the poor piece set, have been doing quite well. 64% Tetris rate for Patrick, who's in the lead right now.
Yeah, Robin's been playing more aggressive. He has way more lines. So if you're scoring like in bowling, Packy is way more ahead than the 2,000 point difference would indicate. But we're going to get a transition fairly soon, and then we're going to see how they can really play. Oh, a missed drop for Sam. But he does have a comfortable 5 Tetris lead. Ethan's going to have to turn on the afterburners here. Both players up top are neck and neck.
Sam has some cleaning up to do. He is very high right now at 123 lines as well. Nice double there. Good piece placement there. He continues on. And the transition for Sam. He's playing high up.
That might be curtains.
Tetris for Ethan. And it looks like it is. So Ethan now will need 80,000 points in order to take this one.
We saw what happened last match, though, so anything can happen still. Ethan's right where he wants to be, but you got to execute.
If we can give some advice to Ethan, press down. Don't listen to that, says the guy in the crowd.
Oh, no.
Oh no. A couple poor placements as he transitions, and he is at mid-board right now. Oh, this is dangerous. Oh, this could be it.
Enough.
It's it. And Sam moves on. Sam will move on, and he will face Green Tea in the round of 32.
That's just the last 2 now.
And now our final round of 0 matchup is above. Patrick at level 17. Robin has transitioned to level 19, now level 20.
Robin is ahead in points right now, but he is ahead 3 levels. He is pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's great if that's how you keep your mental focus. There's nothing wrong with that strategy.
Misdrop there with the O piece. A nice tuck there. Oh, but unfortunately that T block, that is a crucial miss right there. And he will top out. So 26,000 points needed for Patrick.
He's going to play it safe. He needs 1 Tetris to win this first round. Is he going to get it dirty style? He's going to play it safe to the transition. Probably smart move.
He'll just single it out.
Oh, no.
Poor placement there, Patrick. This is game number 1.
This ain't Dr. Mario's son.
Were you waiting to say that too?
Oh, God, yes. Well done.
Good placement there as he moves on to level 20. He needs 12,000 points just in and around.
If he can dig like 12, 13 lines, he can still take it. Well,
He's singling, just single, nice, calm, and cool. He got himself out of that one. Good position right now.
4,000 to go.
He is there. He is there. 7. And there it is. Game
Well
number
done.
1 to Patrick. Well done by our Dr. Mario champion to take game number 1. The winner of this matchup will take on Josh Tolles in the round of 32.
I got to warn Packy. Robin Mihara is not from Denver. Denver trio from, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He beat all 3 of them.
So as they set up for game number 2, just a reminder that Robin was instrumental in the very early stages of this tournament as well.
We wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for his work early back in the 20-oddies.
So cheers to Robin as he goes to game number 2 here between him and Patrick. Level 18 for both of them.
As Salt and Pepper is urging us to push it.
Real good.
Real good.
Neither of us are in any position to sing that song.
No, but Robin is pushing it. He's an aggressive
He's
player.
pushing it to the limit right now. Yeah, he's definitely aggressive as he's keeping it very high right here.
From his NWC days, when you had a time limit to consider, he had to push down. So that's his gameplay he's used to, so that's what he sticks with. Packy's got the lead, but he's got a weird double valley sort of thingy. That's the technical term for it, yes.
Well, he got his line.
Thanks, Vince.
Look at you just inventing terms.
I know. I'm a wordsmith. Robin is oh no, that might be it.
A very poor misplace, and yes, that is it. Patrick moves on. A big round of applause for Robin, though, one of the pioneers of the CTWC.
2015 over 1990. Woo!
So the battle ends between a couple of NWC alums, and yes, Robin will take his selfie. And now let's update you on the round of 0, which has now completed. So Paul Tessie will meet the #1 ranked Corion in the round of 32. SQR will face Alex, Trey, and Harry Hong. Patrick N. and Joseph Saley on the other side of the bracket.
Tomorrow, 10 a.m., it's going to be a war. Tune in, Twitch, YouTube.
Sam faces Green Tea. Josh Tolles versus now Patrick. David L. will take on Jonas. And Jin and Svevar. All right, so on your screen, you see the round of 32. These are our final 32 participants after the round of 0 that will face off to crown a brand new Classic Tetris World Champion. As you look at these matchups, Chris,
Yes.
what are you seeing in terms of difficulty in the early rounds?
Our top 7 players maxed out. So it's after round 1, it's going to be wide open, anybody's game.